This is the second part of the tutorial about using pandas for data manipulation. And I will primarily cover the use of loc and iloc functions. Of course, you start out by importing pandas. Import pandas as PD. And then, as usual, you create a data frame by reading in the data. pd.read underscore CSV, and then the name of the file, kc underscore house underscore data.csv. Next, I will put in a function that I got from Stack Overflow in answer to a question, and I have a reference to that in my Data Science Examples blog. Basically, I wanted to change the date-time object to a date object, and it's a complicated thing, and I had to seek advice on how to do it, but needless to say, this does it. Okay. It overwrites the date column with just the date instead of a date time. Now we'll begin looking at more complicated iloc statements than in the previous example. We'll start out with some basic reviews of that and progress further to more advanced topics. df2 is equal to df.iloc. Let's say 0. And print df2. Okay. Ooh. Let me see. Oh, whoops. That needs to have a df there. Excuse me. Okay. Okay, it prints out that row, but it also prints out the name of each column, because it does that one row by itself. Notice how the date is just in date form and there's no zeros after it like it was before. That's because of this function. Okay. Let's erase that and change that. Make a slight change to that. And it changes it somewhat. If you put the square brackets within square brackets, it prints it out in a single row, but it goes to the next line because there are too many columns for a single row. And again, it also prints out the names of the columns. Now let's try something else. Okay. See, this statement will print out row, the first row and the fourth row. Okay. Well, technically the row with the 0 index and the row with the 3 as the index, but now I will try something else. If you take away to do all the rows in between two index numbers, you have to take away one of the square brackets. Okay. And you will notice that it doesn't actually print out the third, the index number 3, because it excludes that. It excludes the second number. Okay. Let me show you something else. There is a way to do certain rows and certain columns with the ilog function. Okay. And you do that by having two square brackets within square brackets and separated by a comma. And the first one has a list of okay. This is different than what I put in my example, but it will get the idea across. You can put in a list of first square brackets are a list of rows, and the second square brackets are a list of columns. So it should be 4 rows and 3 columns. Okay. Sure enough, it is. There's one problem with the ilog statement. If you don't happen to remember which column name is which, saying column 0, column 7, and column 2 doesn't have a whole lot of meaning to you. And for this reason, it's better to be explicit and use the log statement instead. Okay. And log statement, as I've said before, can be compound more than one conditional statement within it. So you can say df square or foot underscore living and after that one bracket you can put greater than 2500 and you can put the ampersand for and you can start another parentheses and within that df and then and name of another column. In this case, let's do price less than 300,000. Okay. See how many there are, first of all. Okay, quite a few. 62 rows and 21 columns. Okay, 62 results. It's quite a few. That's fewer than if you just looked at greater than 2,500 for the square foot living space. Because when you do multiple conditionals, when you put an ampersand in between them, and means it has to meet both conditions, and that reduces the size of the resulting data set. You can make it, you can add other conditions. Let's add another one. Okay, remember this one had 62, I believe it was. Okay. Let's say df bedrooms, oops, that's rooms, greater than 3. Okay. And you will find that this will be even fewer than 62 because it's adding another condition. Okay, 41. Now let's try one more condition and also make an ampersand, and say df square brackets single quotes bathrooms greater than or equal to 3. And again, it's going to be smaller result than 41 rows. Okay, it's only 6 rows. 6 rows. Now, one other thing that you can do with conditional statements is you can change one part of the conditional to or instead of and. The way you do that is you put in a character that's an up and down line. It's right below the delete button on your keyboard. And this will add results instead of taking them away. Instead of 6, it will be a lot more. Okay. 2,101 rows. Okay. Why is it 2,101? Apparently there are lots of houses with more than 3 bedrooms and more than or equal to 3 bathrooms. And this is a good demonstration of complex log statements. And it concludes my second tutorial on Pandas. Thanks, and like my YouTube channel.